Stephen Jones.
Well, taking a look at our time lapse for this Saturday, plenty of cloud cover, no rain really much here in the Concho Valley. A little bit of sunshine earlier this afternoon, and then that just wonderful sunset thanks to a couple of breaks in the overcast earlier today. But going into the overnight hours, still holding on to quite a bit of that cloud cover, cooling off slowly so far. 73 here in town, 71 for Eden. Across the board for the I-10 corridor, coming in at 74 degrees. So only about 3 degrees right now of spread across the Concho Valley, unless you include Big Lake there at the warm spot for 75 degrees. And of course, looking across the entire Lone Star State, a pretty good spread, about 20 degrees right now. Back in David's old stomping ground, 64 degrees there in Amarillo, way down at the tip of Texas, 84 for Brownsville down there. Of course, plenty of 70s across the middle portions of the state, coming in at 80 for Houston, and even 66 over there in El Paso. Not too bad either. Nice and chilly this evening. And of course, looking at that upper level pattern, gonna start to see this trough moving off towards the east, and here in the Lone Star State, ridging is gonna be taking back its effect for most of our weather pattern. That's what's going to force those rain chances to dwindle as we go through this work week and really start to warm us right back up. You could see the center of it pretty much right over here in west central Texas. So 90s to be expected as we head into the second week of meteorological fall. And of course, whenever we're talking about the tropics, we're right here actually just about to hit that peak of Atlantic tropical activity. So you would start to think maybe we're going to be seeing a little bit more activity in the Atlantic basin. You could see the peak only here in a few more days, but whenever we're taking a look out there at the tropics tracker, I'll move to the other side as well. You can see just pretty much empty across the board in the main development region of the Atlantic basin right now. Only off towards the middle of the Atlantic, maybe a few showers and storms over there, but the National Hurricane Center has it at a 0% chance of forming into anything as we go through the next 48 hours or even the next 7 days, that is. But back across the Lone Star State, this is where the weather is right now. You could see just to the south of the Concho Valley, we had that cold front move through, stalled out just to the south around the San Antonio I-10 region, just to the south of it, and that's where most of the storms were at today. Getting a good look at the radar, seems like New Mexico getting a good amount of storms out there towards Albuquerque, even towards Del Rio into Eagle Pass, and then down towards Laredo along the border. Seeing a good amount of rain down there, but whenever we zoom in on the Concho Valley, maybe just a few bits of verga out there is what I'd call it. Maybe you're seeing a little bit of rain on your windshield if you're driving up from El Dorado or through Sonora as well, but other than that, around San Angelo, pretty high and dry as we're going into the overnight hours, but could change. Take a look at the futurecast here in just a minute. First, I want to show you the rain totals from what we saw today. Most of the northern half stayed completely dry, but as you move your way down towards the I-10 corridor, just a few hundredths of an inch down towards Ozona and Sonora. Looks like not even Junction or Mason really picked up too much out there, but as we go into the futurecast, could start to see a little bit more on the board. You can see where it still has a little bit down there towards I-10, and really that's going to be the focus of the forecast thanks to what I told you about that stalled front that's off towards the south. That's what's really driving most of the weather. So into the overnight hours, maybe just a few more sprinkles off towards Sonora and Junction, maybe Mason as well. Here in San Angelo, I think we're really going to be staying dry throughout the overnight hours as well as into tomorrow, unless we get lucky and one of these decides to pop up just a little bit further north. But into the afternoon, you could expect partly cloudy skies and not too bad at all. Maybe just one or two stray downpours off towards the south. And whenever we're going into your Monday as well, just a little bit more cloud cover in the morning, but as we go into the afternoon, plenty of sunshine going to be on the board, and that's going to drive those rising temperatures. So get ready for the heat to make its return, or at least those 90s, but luckily not the triple digits, right? As we go into tonight, 65 degrees with about a 20% chance of some of those showers off towards the south, winds out of the east 5 to 10 miles an hour. Into tomorrow, that holds true as well, and then that 10% chance, 84 degrees. So pretty similar to what we saw today. And as we work through that 7-day forecast, temperatures, like I said, on the rise. You could see by Tuesday, 92 degrees, 94 for Wednesday. Rain chances falling off the board. And as we go into that next weekend of September, the rain chances could start to make their way back in with those temperatures holding in the 90s, as well as overnight lows in those upper 60s. That's all for your 7-day forecast, but stick around for more KSAN.